ain't telling me nothing.
It's been years since we met Michael and Angela on 90 Day Fiance.
He cheated on me.
And finally, after years of wondering when Michael would be able to come to America after he married Angela, it seems as though he's finally here. Now, this may seem like good news for him and Angela.
I'm happy. I'm overwhelmed.
But it turns out that it might actually be the end for them instead.
This is the lowest blow you can do to me.
So recently, Michael was spotted at the Atlanta airport, and it's been speculated for months that Michael was finally here, and it all started when his aunt told the Kiki and Kibitz podcast host that his visa has been approved and he would be coming to America in February of 2022, but apparently that wasn't the case because based on the sightings of him, he only just now made it here in November of 2022, and this is something that he and Angela have been working on for years now, and they've been trying to get Michael to come to the US to live with Angela for ages, and it just hasn't been easy for them at all. Now on the show, we watched as they fought for years with immigration trying to get him into the country, but now it finally looks like the wait is over because people spotted Michael at the Atlanta airport, and some even claim that they saw Angela there too, which would probably mean that she was waiting there for him, ready to pick him up, which is kind of sweet, except that this is still Angela we're talking about, so it's not as heartwarming as you might think. And Angela and Michael's relationship has always been pretty concerning to many people, and it's clear that they have a lot of issues, and Angela especially seems to be pretty much universally disliked by everyone. So while people are happy for Michael because he finally gets to live in the US like he's wanted to for so long, many people are also concerned about what this might mean for him, and Angela's already shown some pretty controlling and harmful behavior towards Michael. And this was when they didn't even live in the same country, and I just don't think this is going to get any better now that they're presumably living together, and honestly I feel like it might just get worse. And still, after all this time, it was about time that Michael got his spousal visa. I mean, I actually saw someone joke on Reddit about how the people handing out the visa probably saw the show and saw how Michael was being treated by Angela, and they just thought that if anyone deserved a spousal visa, it was Michael. And I mean, after everything that he's been through with her, and after everything to put up with her for so long, he definitely does deserve it. And this obviously isn't exactly what happened, but you can see their point. I mean, based on what we've seen, Angela really doesn't seem like the easiest person to get along with, and Michael's journey to getting his visa has been a long one. And before he and Angela got married, his K-1 application was actually rejected, and this was obviously a massive blow to the couple, but they didn't give up, even though they threatened to do exactly that many times. And now, after all those obstacles that he's faced, Michael finally got his spousal visa, and the process took several years. And it even got to a point where everyone started to talk about how Angela maybe didn't even want Michael to actually come to the US, but whether there was some, truth to that or not, it seems like it doesn't matter now anyway, because Michael is officially in the US, and that can only mean one thing. I'm hoping that we'll get to see this moment of them at the airport on the show by the end of the season, but who knows if that will happen or not, though I have seen some theories that it might, but I guess only time will tell. But either way, it'll be interesting to see what Michael and Angela's relationship might look like now, because a lot of people have been expressing their worries about this, and obviously, up until now, we've seen how mean Angela could be to Michael, and this was when they mostly lived in different countries, and she showed some pretty concerning behavior. And while it's possible that this might improve now that they're officially living together in the US, I feel like that's probably not going to happen. I mean, I just don't think that Michael coming over to America is going to improve the relationship that much, and I'm actually kind of worried about what Michael's life might look like now, because I mean, first of all, it's definitely going to be a big culture shock, and Michael's not just moving from Nigeria to the US, he's also moving to Hazelhurst, Georgia, and Hazelhurst, Georgia is an incredibly small town with a population of about 4,000 people, and according to the Wikipedia page, it's 68% white people that live there and only 27% black, and that's not even taking into account that Michael is also a foreigner. So the chances of anyone having a similar background to him are slim to none, and on top of all this, Angela is supposedly kind of infamous in Hazelhurst, and of course you have the fact that she's probably the only person from that town that's ever been on reality TV, and then you have her crazy behavior and arrests and family drama that's probably the talk of the town, so you can't help but wonder how Michael's going to feel about that. And things also make a turn for them when it comes to Michael's job situation, because Angela made it clear to him that he didn't have to work and and that she would happily pay for everything for him, which honestly sounds like a way for her to control him. And Michael may want to get out of the house and meet new people and have a life outside of Angela, but it sounds like she won't let him. So maybe Angela will just want to keep him in the house and get him to take care of household chores instead. And let's just say that he does want to work. I mean, he might not even be able to because of immigration. We've seen that exact situation play out on so many other 90 Fiance couples. And but speaking of Angela's controlling behavior, it'll be interesting to see if he's allowed to reactivate his Instagram now that they're together and he's in America. So if I had to guess, I would say that no, he won't. And the reasons are pretty simple. Because as much as Angela complains and threatens to leave Michael, she also likes to control him. So letting him reactivate his Instagram will force her to give up some of her control over him. And with access to social media and, being in close physical proximity to millions of other American women that he could leave Angela for, I just don't think she would do that. And Angela saw firsthand how that worked out for Eve and Muhammad. And when it was revealed that Muhammad was cheating on Eve via Instagram and that he had plans to leave her for the other woman, and he claimed, DV against Eve, that he couldn't get kicked out of America. And Michael and Angela's journey so far has been just as messy as Eve and Muhammad. I mean, they met on social media in 2017, which is kind of ironic given the whole Instagram thing that happened not too long ago. But, after they first started talking back then, they fell in love pretty quickly, and not everyone was a huge fan of their relationship. I mean, Angela is more than 20 years older than Michael, which is already pretty controversial, but they have a lot of more issues than just their age gap. But despite this, they got married in January 2020 in Nigeria, and at first, Angela actually wanted to get married in the US, but that wasn't possible because Michael didn't get his K-1 visa, so they had to get married in Nigeria so that Michael could apply for a spousal visa instead. But things only got worse for the two of them because there was this whole conflict about children, and Michael wanted to have a kid, but Angela already had 2 grown kids and a ton of grandchildren that she's been helping to raise. So obviously, she wasn't exactly excited about the prospect, and they talked about some of their other options, but then it seemed like Angela had decided to spend a bunch of money on plastic surgeries instead, which Michael wasn't exactly happy about either. And then there were also some rumors about their affairs. Angela talked about how she didn't fully trust Michael and how she was suspicious of him, and she's definitely shown some of her jealousy issues before, but it's not like she was completely innocent in all this either, because there have been a bunch of rumors about her having affairs too. I mean, first there was, her thing with Dr. Obeng, and a lot of people were convinced that these two were flirting and maybe having an affair with each other, and then recently Angela was also FaceTiming with this other guy. She and this man Bill were doing TikTok dances together, and they talked a lot over the phone, and Angela seemed to be pretty into him, and she even openly talked about him in some really flattering, terms, I guess. So it's clear that Michael and Angela have a lot of issues that they need to work on if they ever want to have a healthy and happy relationship, and maybe they'll take this opportunity to do that now that Michael's finally in the US. And I mean, I honestly doubt that this will happen. I just can't see them having an actually healthy relationship, but who knows, maybe they'll surprise us all. But what do you guys think? I mean, are you happy that Michael finally moved to the US? And how do you think this might affect his relationship with Angela? Guys, let me know in the comments down below.